Good afternoon, everybody. It's Friday afternoon and it's currently 32 minutes past 3. The Constitutional Court sat down, early this morning, actually, around about 9 a.m. to start deliberating over the case about the Thai Prime Minister, Paetongtarn Shinawatra. Currently, they're still in the midst of some preamble before announcing their final decision. So I thought I'd go live at this stage to at least sort of bring you a bit of a live situation. There's some people already online and I didn't want to leave you sort of just sitting there waiting. We could be waiting 10 seconds or we could be waiting 3 hours. I don't really know. I've got some soda water here, so I'm set. I've just got a couple of feeds here which I'll just keep on refreshing, so we can bring you the decision as soon as it's made. And the reason it's such an important decision because it's not so much just the current Thai Prime Minister and her fate. It's all the stuff that's happening in the background, part of which I discussed in today's preview, which I put out earlier this morning. And thank you for those people that watched that, trying to keep you up to date with what's going on. Now, of course, a lot of people think this has got nothing to do with foreigners. Why are you bothering? It's nothing to do with you. You can't vote. Well, I pay taxes here. I employ Thai people. I've been living here for 14 years. My friends are Thai people. I'm very involved in the community and I have a business here in Thailand. As far as I'm concerned, the outcome of today's decision and other decisions regarding Thai politics are much more important to me than, for example, what's happening in Australia, my home country. So it is very important to me, and things like the cannabis legislation, things about visas, about future tourism promotions, about whether they're going to change the 60-day visa exemption back to 30 days. All these things are 100% linked back to politics, and different parties have got different outlooks on some of these issues. So it is an important decision today. And it's also important because there's an unelected constitutional court, which is, some people might call it interfering, but certainly this unelected court is making waves and deciding who is going to be Thailand's next Prime Minister. Well, specifically who isn't going to be Thailand's next Prime Minister. So they will have there's two things they can say. Either they throw out the case and she remains as the Thai Prime Minister, or secondly they say no, she's not fit to be Thailand's Prime Minister. And it all comes down to what they describe as a lack of ethics. So that involves very broad interpretation. Now, for those people who are just joining us later and watching this, it might be a bit boring unless we get a determination fairly quickly. So what I'll put in the description is exactly where the announcement is made. In the meantime, we've got plenty of things to talk about and plenty of people to have a talk to here. And thank you very much for the people that have who've joined in. Got Brent Tomato Piments. Simon Brown withdrew his message, so he couldn't wait. KM said, I'm just worried for the outlook of Thailand. KM, ABC have a good interview yesterday with Chula Professor, I suppose you mean. Chulalongkorn University, I suppose you're talking about. Hi, Timonol, says Damien Jess. Brad Jones, I think we're all worried for Thailand. Beer time, ha ha ha. A Thai preamble could take days. Well, you're right. Maybe I've jumped in a bit early, but I didn't really want to leave all you good people just sitting there waiting, dangling your legs under the bar stool. So I am refreshing these feeds I have in front of me every couple of seconds. Michael Spigarolo says, sorry, another question, Tim. What are you predicting will happen? So Anaton for next Prime Minister, if she is forced to leave, I truly believe one of the reasons Anaton left is that he left the coalition is because he had aspirations to be the next Prime Minister. Certainly Anaton has not disguised, as I'm trying to do two things here at one time, has not disguised his aspirations to be Prime Minister. He's not very well thought of within the political circles, partly, I think, because his ambition he pretty much wears on his sleeve, and that's not a very sort of Thai thing to do. Also, his unilateral decision when he was the public health minister to decriminalise cannabis was not popular in the government, and indeed leading up to the 2023 election, all the other parties said that they were either going to recriminalise or change the legislation to reduce the use of recreational cannabis. So Bumjai Thai has been sitting out there all by itself, basically wanting to keep the cannabis situation the same. Now, the Thai Public Health Minister has wound back the cannabis decriminalisation a lot over the past 3 months, doing the things that he has within his power without necessarily going back to the Parliament. To recriminalise it, for example, he would have to go to Parliament, and he's doing everything he can within his scope as a minister to bring guidelines, and some of those guidelines involve people having to get a prescription before cannabis can be dispensed to them. And I was in Bangkok just a week or so ago, and there were a lot of the shops closed that I used to walk past every day around the Asok area. That's just one area, for example. He also wasn't very popular with foreigners because during COVID he was describing them as dirty foreigners, dirty PHANG, and that didn't go down well with the expat community. So I think he is certainly, if she is thrown out of office, he would be in the hunt. As a sort of a fill-in Prime Minister before the next election, would certainly give him a good jump start for the next election. At the same time, he has to pull together a coalition if he wants to become Prime Minister, and the numbers just may not be in his favour, given that Thai would not support him and they control a large amount of the MPs. The largest rump of MPs are the People Party, and that's the old Move Forward Party, I can't see them supporting him either. Anerton's got 69 votes, 69 MPs in Parliament, so he's got a long way to go until he gets to the 500 MPs. Continuing to refresh here, but we've got no extra or additional news. Just checking once again. We will be able to bring this to you first because I've got all the feeds here in front of me. So thank you, Michael, for those thoughts. I think Michael had a follow-up question, which was, and what are you predicting? I don't really want to predict because whatever I predict, I've got a 50% chance of getting it wrong, and I'd rather not be wrong. I know the English journalist for the BBC, whose name eludes me, I'm sure somebody will tell me in a moment, Jonathan Head. He's quite a good journalist. If you've got any doubts, just ask him. And he made a prediction that she will probably get off. I think it's dangerous for journalists to make those sort of predictions. I'm probably more likely to make predictions as to if she is thrown out of office or if she retains office, or at least suggest perhaps the landscape that we're now entering. But as to what the Constitutional Court is going to decide, if they haven't already made the decision, I simply don't know. But I will say that in the preamble, just reading some of just trying to do a bit of a translation here and there, it did not look good because they were talking about definitions of ethics, and this is all about ethics. It's a follow-up to the reason that she's facing the Constitutional Court, because 36 senators complained about her a published telephone conversation, a private conversation between her and the head of the Senate, Hun Sen, in Cambodia. And the part that really got these 36 senators angry, and a lot of Thais, and there's certainly been a storm on social media, was the fact that she really didn't support the army and their involvement in what was happening on the Thai Cambodian border at the time. She was basically saying that the Thai government and the Thai army weren't on the same side. So that really got a lot of people angry. But it was a private conversation. Whether she should be punished for a private conversation being made public, that of course is going to be discussed for a long time. But we still don't have a decision made. The Constitutional Court, which is made of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 judges. 8? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. How do they get... What if it's 4 and 4? I suppose the chairman or the head judge would have a final say. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It seems like there's 8 judges. So the head judge, I don't know the judge's name, the supreme judge, the head judge, I don't know. He would probably have the final vote if it was tied at 4-4. That's usually the way it works. Thank you, Michael. Let's get to some other comments. Mango Sticky Rice. I'm listening to Thai PBS World, and my wife says the man that is talking about the laws, and she shouldn't have put her personal life into politics. Sure. That's what I'm thinking, that it's just not leaning in her direction the way that they're talking about her role in that telephone call. So what else have we got? Dad will have paid someone. Ha ha ha. That's from Rippled Mind. Look, I think we have to try, without being too sarcastic about the whole thing, we have to recognise that the Constitutional Court in Thailand is above politics. That's their role. And the judges would not be able to be sort of paid off. Okay, so it's just been announced. Paetongtarn Shinawatra, the Thai Prime Minister, has been dismissed from office. She was found guilty of violating the Constitution by the Constitutional Court. And that's because they've decided that the audio clip between her and the Cambodian Senate leader Hun Sen was unethical. So how far are we into the broadcast at the moment? Some 12 minutes, so I'm going to have to advise people to go to 12 minutes. So she's been found guilty. That means she will be dismissed from office, and now just sort of working through that side of the equation, now that we know that she's been found guilty and dismissed from office. Well, now it doesn't say she's been dismissed from office. Just give me one moment. So, yeah, she's been found guilty. It doesn't say whether she's been removed from office, but I suppose that will just automatically follow on. So what we have at the moment is that the acting Thai Prime Minister will remain the acting Thai Prime Minister, and he will lead a caretaker government because a new cabinet will have to be formed. And pretty much the reality is that now the whole parliament is sort of thrown open. Now, it's not formally done, but now anybody from the other parties could try and form a coalition, because now that she's been found guilty, the parliament will sit and they'll nominate a new prime minister. Per Thai has, or had, 3 prime ministerial nominations. Srettha Thavisin, Paetongtarn Shinawatra were the first 2 nominations of Per Thai. They have 1 left, and that is Chai Kasem Nitsari. So they will put him up for a vote. This is the way that they will try and retain the government. So that is basically a test of not only his leadership, but also the Per Thai coalition. So I don't know when that's going to happen, probably within a month, but the acting Prime Minister will remain the acting Prime Minister, and the current coalition will remain a caretaker coalition running the government. So the wheels of government will continue, even though she's not going to be apparently involved. And then they'll test the new Prime Minister with a vote. If that vote doesn't go through, then yes, all those phones will be ringing and maybe checkbooks will be opened, and one other party will try and form a coalition. Now, numbers-wise, it just doesn't look good for really any other semblance of a coalition. The Thai party have some 142 MPs in the 500-seat lower house. The Move, formerly the Move Forward Party, now the People's Party, they've got 152 MPs in the 500 lower house seats, and I'm not sure if they can pull together a coalition with the Senate out of the way. The Senate won't be involved in the vote this time for the Prime Minister. They might have a better chance. They would have to say that they're not going to change any of the Section 112 rules. That was the reason they were forced out last time. So there'd be a lot of water having to go under the bridge before they were going to be able to form a coalition with some of the other parties. The only other party they could probably form a coalition with is Thai, but they would have a... their single nominee was Pita Limjaroenrat. They didn't have two standbys, so they really wouldn't be able to pull together a government anyway. So just trying to find out a little bit more information for you. Basically, just this guilty vote is all I can see. Who else we got here? And they are telling me... Oh, they're not even giving the new information, so there you go. Okay, Paetongtarn ousted from office. Nation Thailand says breaking. The Constitutional Court has ruled to dismiss Prime Minister Paetongtarn Shinawatra from office following a leaked phone call with the Cambodian Senate President Hun Sen. Let's see what these people are saying, then I'm going to get to your comments, and thank you very much for joining in, everybody. This family should not be allowed to do politics anymore. I'll talk about the Shinawatra family in a moment. Bad news for Cambodia. Not sure what that means. Not surprising at all. Yeah, look, people were probably had a 50-50 chance of getting it right. Looks like Jonathan Head got it wrong. So it says you should never do predictions on politics. Maybe do a bit of speculation, but don't nail your head to the role. A friend's just sent me a message saying, she's out. What do you think I'm doing here? Okay, so let's go through other people's comments. So I'm sure, well, I'll scroll down because a lot more people will be talking now that we've got the decision made. Bayou Tom on the loose again, just how did she put her personal life into politics? Well, as I said, it was a private telephone call, and if I was sitting on the jury on the Constitutional Court, I'd be saying this was a private telephone conversation between two adults. Why are we even talking about this? But anyway, that's just my view on the matter. Okay, what is she risking? Just losing the job or more? Well, she's been thrown out of the position of Prime Minister. She wasn't an MP, so she doesn't have a place in the Parliament. So it means that the Shinawatra family is basically out of politics altogether, at least in the meantime. So we can talk about or speculate about other Shinawatra members and what they may be doing, but there are no Shinawatras involved in the Parliament as of today. The Generals will have their day, says Simon Brown. The Generals have had their day in the past from 2014 to 2019. Then there was an election. The Generals sort of oozed their way back into power, but in 2023 they were turned into a small rump in Parliament and they have very little say. Having said that, of course, lurking in the background is the Thai army, who are riding a wave of popularity in Thailand at the moment because of the Thai-Cambodian border. Does that mean anything? Probably not. The army leader has repeatedly said there will never be another coup in Thailand, but of course past army leaders have already said that. I lost my bet, says Tomato Piments. Well, yes. Sorry about that. Steve Ross for PM, ongoing situation. That would be interesting. I don't think he would be even slightly interested in the job, but it would be interesting. Wow, amazing. Didn't expect that, says Richard Horton. Darwin Stubby Sutep must have been spewing seeing another Shinawatra in office. Sutep Tongsaban, who was the leader of the Yellow Shirts, he's basically out of politics these days as well. Now they're her and her father out of Thailand. Well, no, she doesn't have to leave Thailand. And I think her punishment will be removal from the office of as Prime Minister. She's not going to be going to jail or anything. Now, her father, Thaksin Shinawatra, still has an investigation hanging over his head into the time he spent in the top floor of the police hospital in Bangkok whilst he was meant to be serving a prison sentence. That's still hanging over his head, and there's no timeline on exactly when that's going to come to the top of the pile. The Taco Mussolini. Simon Brown, chill bruh, there's no coup in the works, stop rabble-rousing. Yeah, look, anybody who says that there is a coup in the works is really being very, very simplistic. I think it's easy with Thai politics, anytime there's a bit of a kerfuffle in Parliament, to go, oh, there's another coup on the way. That is simple-minded, and as I keep on saying, it is, and I'm happy to hang my head on this one, extremely unlikely. At the moment, the 2017 Constitution is in place. Everything that's happening under the 2017 Constitution is happening. She will be removed from office, whether you agree or disagree with the decision, and an acting Prime Minister is taking the role, and then another of the Prime Ministerial nominees, which were announced before the 2023 election, one of them will be elected. Now, it could be a bit of a long game as to how long that will take. There's also a spectre of the Per-Thai coalition. If it's not getting its way in Parliament, they could call a snap election, or they could dissolve Parliament. In both cases, there would be a new election. And then, well, everything is up for grabs. But we haven't reached that decision at the moment. I'm just scrambling for any further information. The Thai Prime Minister was removed from office after the Constitutional Court ruled the entire cabinet has been dismissed from office. Okay, so the entire cabinet has been dismissed from office because the cabinet is basically given its rise by the authority of the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister in a lot of these prime ministerial systems around the world, the sort of Westminster form of government where you've got the two levels, like a Senate and a lower house, the Prime Minister usually has got the authority to pick the cabinet members in consultation with other elected MPs. So now the cabinet's been dismissed from office. I'm just trying to think out loud here. That would mean that I think that pretty much means that the coalition is still intact, but they will have to test the Parliament and get their third nominee, Chaikasem Nitsari, elected as Prime Minister, whereas whereupon he would then elect or put together a new cabinet. So the Per-Thai party is now fighting for its life. It has been severely weakened by what's happened or transpired. Its attitude towards the Thai-Cambodian border, I would pretty much say missing in action. Where have the MPs been? It's pretty much the Thai army who's been running the show there along the border and making all the announcements. I haven't heard much at all from the acting Thai Prime Minister. So he does remain the acting Thai Prime Minister, but the cabinet's now been dismissed as well, and they'll now try and test the third nominee in Parliament. Let's go on with your comments as I'm sort of still trying to draw information here from my feeds. A power trip seasoned with high levels of prejudice and serving their agenda perfectly in times of financial and power distress, says Luis Rodriguez. No idea what you're talking about, but thank you. No reporting in Bangkok Post or Nation. Yes, Oh Dear is the name of the person. What I just read out a moment ago was directly from Nation Thailand. Why talk about? Gary Rowie says, why? Why talk about? No idea what you're talking about, Gary, but thank you. Deepak Bharati, will this decision affect tourism or the FDI? The FDI. What's the FDI? My brain's not working that well at the moment. Will it affect tourism? FDI. Well, no. I think some people will perceive this, even people here in the comment section will perceive this as some instability, but the Constitution is still there. There is still an acting Prime Minister. There is still a Parliament. So the wheels of government will continue. The public service is still sitting there, and they're counting the money coming in from exports. They're fixing the holes in the road. They're running the wheels of government. That hasn't changed. At the moment, though, we have an acting Prime Minister and a coalition that needs to nominate a new Prime Minister. And we have a Parliament that's probably making a lot of phone calls at the moment, seeing if they can pull together numbers to form a new government. That's all happening whilst the constitutional wheels keep turning. Okay, well, I lost my bet, Alf. Can't believe it, says Shano Traveller. Shinawats are traitors, says the Pete Journal. Yaklama, more heads to roll, watch this space. Well, they have thrown out the cabinet. Again, I think making comments like that, it's a bit mischievous. I mean, if you're trying to say something, actually name names and put it down there. I can decide whether I'm going to read it or not. But just watch this space is a bit mischievous and silly. Eurovision Chris, aha, thanks for the clarity on her status now and the fact she wasn't an MP, my poor assumption. No, the Constitution says that you can put up a name, an outsider, and if a party doesn't get 50% of the vote, an outsider, and it was the case with Prayut Chan-o-cha back in 2019, he wasn't an MP, and no party had over 50% of the vote. So an outsider was able to be brought in and have a vote in Parliament, and he won the vote in the Parliament. Just the way things work here in Thailand, which is a bit different from other constitutional democracies. Tim, 35 MPs are going out with her. Well, no, I'm not sure if that's the case. 35 MPs are going out with her. If you're talking about the cabinet's been dismissed, but it doesn't mean they are not MPs anymore. They retain their position as an MP. It's just that they lose their cabinet positions. Is the roof very noisy in the rains? Asks Gary Rowie. Do I have to talk about the roof very quickly? It's a PVC aluminum, if you're from America or Canada, a PVC aluminium sandwich, and it's about 60% quieter than a steel roof. It also doesn't radiate heat, and as you can probably see in the back there's some huge vents, and the roof is sloped, and so the air gets sucked in a gap about that wide at the front, and it removes all the hot air. So it's never hotter in here than it is outside. We don't have air conditioning in here, but we do have, and I'm pointing at a fan, we do have fans. I don't really need the air conditioning during the day. The bedroom in there behind, that's a sealed room. It has an air conditioner, and we use that sometimes on the hot nights. Enough about the roof. Thai PBS has announced she has been dismissed as PM, says David Kay. Thank you very much. Peter should never have been prevented from being PM, says Paul in Asia. Well, look, I mean, I've gone through this before, but he was unable to form a coalition. The Move Forward Party were able to get 30% of the primary vote, but you have to have 50% plus one of MPs on your side, and could be from one party, two parties, 10 parties. But you need to have a coalition of parties with 50% of the vote plus one MP. They were unable to pull together a coalition. Now, most constitutional democracies work in the same way, so it has happened in other places around the world. So he had, as the party with the most number of MPs, the first take of forming a coalition, but he was unable to do so for reasons I've gone through 1,000 times. So you can't say that he won the election. His party got the highest number of MPs, but they were unable to form a coalition, whereas Per Thai, perhaps more seasoned politicians, were able to form a coalition. Recording and leaking a private conversation without permission is actionable in the courts in some places, says Bayou Tom on the loose again. Yeah, if I was the Shinawatra, I'd be suing the hell out of the Hun family for leaking that particular conversation. I mean, obviously there's no love lost between those families now, and I think that in itself has got a long way to go. But whether you like to admit it or not, the Cambodian strongman Hun Sen has basically brought down the Thai Prime Minister by leaking that conversation. So it's a pretty big day for Thai politics when one man in Cambodia has basically been able to bring about this outcome. Antoine, PMs don't have private calls with political leaders of other countries. That was a correct decision. Oh, look, I'm not arguing with the decision made by the Constitutional Court. I'm just saying that, in my opinion, if it was a private conversation, she was not advised that it was being taped. So that's just my personal opinion, though. The Constitutional Court, they've already made their decision. She's guilty. She's no longer Thailand's Prime Minister. Bayou Tom on the loose again. The message has been clearly sent. No Shinawats in politics. I'll address that in a moment. Magic fire. So the whole cabinet going to be replaced and the tax exemption law under work going to be dismissed. Well, look, as far as the cannabis legislation, the new laws regarding sex workers, this issue about tax exemption law, yeah, look, the wheels of politics will be slowed down. There's nothing that's going to be getting to the top of the pile, certainly in the next month, whilst the Parliament is sorting itself out. So the tax exemption law, I think you're just going to have to wait for that. But at the moment, the future of stability with the Thai Parliament would be considered much more important than any of the bills waiting to go through Parliament at the moment. Michael's back. Michael Spigarolo. Sorry for a change of subject, Tim, but in theory, could you, as an Australian citizen, be a future Australian honorary consul in Phuket? Well, no. In theory, I could, but if you want to be a... well, it's not an honorary consul. The Australian Consul General, it's a paid position. Used to be an honorary consul, but it's now a fully paid position, and that's Kirsten Fletcher. She's doing a terrific job. And to get to those posts, you have to really be a career diplomat. You have to have done your work addressing, I've lost my passport, at the various embassies and all that sort of jargon. So, no, I wouldn't have an opportunity to do it because I have never played that diplomatic game. It's not my vibe. I have zero interest in sort of doing that type of thing. In theory, as an Australian citizen, I could do the job, but I'm not I'd never ever be, there'd be 10,000 people ahead of me who would be able to, they've got the experience to do a job like that. Tropical guard cyclone coming, PM going, what's the third bad news? Well, we've had a tropical, they're called typhoons in this part of the world. It entered Thailand as sort of a reduced depression, brought a lot of rain, especially as we reported yesterday in Chiang Mai. There is another one coming. It seems to have a lot more water or rain circulating around it, even though it's less powerful. But yes, we'll leave that to another day. It's probably going to get Thailand involved. It will be entering in sort of Thailand space maybe late Sunday, Monday, Tuesday next week. So let's leave that for now. BBC reporting it, still nothing on Bangkok Post. Well, The Nation did report it. One of the first feeds I read were from The Nation. I'm happy to do it again if you like. But breaking, the Thai Enquirer, this is their reporting of it. Prime Minister Paetongtarn Shinawatra has been removed from office after the Constitutional Court ruled her guilty of ethical misconduct in the Hun Sen audio case. The acting Prime Minister Paetongtarn will continue as caretaker Premier, with the entire cabinet now serving in a caretaker capacity. Well, that may or may not be correct. It looks like the cabinet's been dismissed. Well, whilst they're dismissed from office, they will continue as a caretaker cabinet until a new cabinet can take their place. So the previous cabinet, the ministers of the public health and tourism and sports, they will retain their position in a caretaker role until a new prime minister is elected and or nominated and elected in Parliament, and then appoints a new cabinet. So yeah, that's probably the way it should be read. So thank you, Thai Enquirer. The ruling Thai party must now either initiate the parliamentary process to select a new Prime Minister from the existing candidates. Well, that is going to be Chai Kasem Nitsari. He's their only candidate left. They would not tolerate a leader of another party as leader of their coalition. Although, if it's going to mean losing power, they may consider that. But Chai Kasem Nitsari, he has to be the man of the moment. He has to be the one who's going to be expecting to step up and face a vote in Parliament. Since Thai still has its third and final candidate, Chai Kasem Nitsari, the party is likely to proceed with the selection process. Other candidates include Bumjai Thai leader Anaton, Ruam Thai Sangchat Pirapan, as we mentioned this morning, and the former Democrat Party leader Duran. Now, another person who was nominated before the last election was the former leader or Prime Minister of Thailand, Prayut Chan-o-cha. He has since taken a job with the Privy Council, a very high position. He basically serves on the council advising His Majesty the King. He would have to step down from that role to be nominated as a prime ministerial candidate. But he is a prime ministerial candidate, not included in that list. Okay, to your comments. So hopefully everybody knows that the Prime Minister has been kicked out of office. Thai people voted for Peter. He should be PM. No, Paul, I mean, you keep on saying this. I can't explain it more clearly. They voted for Peter and his party got 38% of the vote. He needs 50% of the vote plus one. He was unable to form a coalition, so he never became Prime Minister. Don't mention it again, Paul. Just don't bother. I can't keep on saying the same thing over and over. A sad day for Thailand, says Simon Brown. Neil Church, thanks Tim once again, a great informative video. So we're getting a lot of comments here. Investment, says one up is what we do. Eurovision Chris, foreign direct investment. Oh, okay. Okay, what will this do with foreign direct investment? Look, I think the way this is going to be painted generally is sort of as instability. Those in the opposition will say, oh, the Thai government looks weak at the moment. Certainly the Cambodians will be rubbing their hands together. All the trolls will be just going insane tonight, including on my side as well, I'm sure. This doesn't change the situation on the Thai border one iota. The Thai army are basically in control of what's going on there, and nothing that's happened today will affect what's happening on the Thai border. So I think we need to just separate those two issues. This is basically a parliamentary situation. The MPs are now, it's their role to pull a new Prime Minister together, along with perhaps a new cabinet. If they can't do that, if they can't get their nominee passed, in other words, if he doesn't get the vote of confidence from Parliament, then it's a situation where the acting Prime Minister might be able to call for a dissolution of Parliament. He'd have to go to His Majesty the King and request it, but they could dissolve the Parliament, and that would mean another election. Or, if he felt he was in the right situation politically, he could call a snap election, which is basically the coalition calling its own election. That would be neater. A dissolution of Parliament, I think, does look a bit shabby, but certainly people who are about to sign the cheque to invest in Thailand at the moment may be thinking, oh, I might just wait for a couple of weeks. As far as I'm concerned, my feelings about Thailand, my feelings about staying in Thailand, having invested here, none of that has been shaken at all. I'm still very confident about Thailand as a place where people come to have a lot of fun. The beaches will look exactly the same tomorrow morning when the sun comes up, as they did today. Life will go on. The people out here on the road who are selling squid on a stick and other various Thai snacks, they will probably be there again tomorrow. So life in Thailand will continue. The constitution is intact. The Thai parliament is completely intact. Now, as far as electing a new prime minister, okay, these are things that need to be resolved. If you have a look at, for example, what happened in the UK before the last election, I think they had 3 or 4 prime ministers in the Tory party between elections. I think it was 4 prime ministers. So it's not uncommon in a constitutional monarchy, for example, with a bicameral Westminster system, to have a change of prime minister between elections. That's not uncommon at all. Happened in Australia as well. So people shouldn't feel that Thailand is in any way weakened by this, but certainly a strong prime minister saying all the right things would be very handy at the moment. Maybe the acting Prime Minister, Paetongtarn Shinawatra, may make some sort of statement over the next couple of days, just settling everything down and saying that, yeah, things are still under control. The Parliament is still intact. The Parliament is still sitting. I can't reiterate that enough. The Thai government is still there. A bit of a mess at the moment, but it's still there. Tim, a new haircut. Haircut is exactly the same from one day to another. The Pete Journal, Thai court dismisses Paetongtarn Shinawatra as Prime Minister. Well, thanks very much for advising us on that. A bit late to the meeting, but thank you. The dynasty is over, says Sean Moore. Look, Paetongtarn Shinawatra is the 3rd Prime Minister with the surname Shinawatra. And I would say that this pretty much is, if not the final curtain, is the death knell for the Shinawatra family in politics. I think there's now been 3 Shinawatras dismissed by various courts in Thailand, and the days of the Shinawatras as a powerhouse of Thai politics are pretty much over. Now, the opera's never over until the fat lady sings, but I can hear her there in the dressing room just sort of warming up her vocals. as far as the Shinawatra family is concerned. I mean, that's why I thought today was such an important day, because it pretty much does put a line under the dynasty of the Shinawatras. Thaksin Shinawatra, without his daughter in power, basically doesn't have anybody to whisper in their ear. Now, he will still be fondly remembered by people who used to like wearing the red shirts. He will have his place in the heart of many Thais who voted for him and his family members over the years. But as people with realistic power, with their hands on the levers of power in Thailand, I would say that the Shinawatra family are pretty much just an entry in the history books. Thank you to all the people who have told me that FDI means foreign direct investment. I appreciate that. Orlando 1. Peter and his party should be unbanned and allowed to fulfil their role as the people's choice. Well, I mean, that's a nice sentiment, and I don't see that happening. I think Peter is quite enjoying his days gallivanting around the United States, making speeches, probably making a lot more money, and he'll be cooling his heels, and I'm sure at some stage he'll come back and become an active member of Thai politics. I don't think now is the time. Yes, the People's Party, with their 150 or so, 152 MPs in Parliament, certainly are still a powerhouse. I just don't see them being able to pull together a coalition, particularly because they don't have a prime ministerial candidate anymore. Before the last election, they only put up one candidate. They were allowed to put up three, but they only put up one candidate, Pita Limjaroenrat. And, well, he's now banned from politics in Thailand for another 8 years or so. So they sort of made that decision at the time, trying to be very strong, saying Peter is our one and only, but now they really don't have any way to move. John Clone, this is to remove Thaksin's power unless he manages to run his dog as Prime Minister. I think you actually mean the word dog. Welcome to live chat. Okay, thank you very much. No movement in Thai baht. Well, yeah, look, if people are suddenly thinking that the Thai baht's just going to crash, or that the Thai Stock Exchange is going to close and we've got some sort of constitutional crisis, that's not happening. The Thai government are going to change their Prime Minister. Now, it could take weeks. I would say probably within weeks there will be a vote for a new Thai Prime Minister. And depending on how that goes, whether it's going to be sorted out in the first round or whether it's going to take more rounds, it will sort itself out. But we have caretaker ministers, we have a caretaker or acting Prime Minister. All the public service are still doing exactly what they were doing yesterday, today, and they'll be back at work on Monday doing those jobs as well. There's no reason for there to be a movement in the Thai baht. The Thai government continues to function. What's happening about the BJT senators who were being investigated over the Senate elections? Yes, this 36 Bumjai Thai linked ministers, they call them the blue senators, sorry. That, I think that investigation was shelved. They are still a rump in the Senate, but the Senate won't have any role in electing the new Prime Minister in Thailand. So I'm not exactly sure they'll be cooling their heels at the moment, but with those senators in place, if Pumjai Thai ever comes to power in Thailand, those senators will be able to rubber stamp the decisions made by Pumjai Thai. Probably something to discuss on another day. Thai baht just dropped against the Australian dollar, at least, been falling all day. I mean, it doesn't look good for Thailand. As I said, there is a sense of instability, but people really shouldn't see it that way. All my Thai friends are happy, says Bloke from Korat. Yeah, there was certainly a wave of rejection of the Thai Prime Minister. She made herself very unpopular. And at the same time, the Thai military have been endearing themselves with their firm response along the Thai border. So I think there's going to be a lot of Thais who are going to say, okay, well, that's good. We didn't like her in the end. At the end of the day, we'll just have to see what happens in the future. What is consciousness? Why is government at war with life itself? Asks Colton Brummel. All I can suggest is perhaps just tweak your crystals, move your candles around, and see if you can find an answer. By you, Tom on the Loose again. You've really got to change your handle, mate. Alabama has an honorary consulate that was given by a royal military guy who befriended an Alabama military guy. Dennis Howard, but Thai baht fall just reversed, less than 0.5%. I don't think there's going to be much movement in the Thai baht. If you're betting on the Thai baht falling, well, good luck. But the Thai baht seems to be able to weather these disruptions fairly well. I wouldn't be betting against it. Nobody wants Prayut back, says Larry Ryan. Well, it's not going to be up to you. It's going to be up to the Parliament and just to see where the votes fall. Now, it could be argued that during this time, he could be seen as a senior figure with a firm hand on the good ship Thailand, whilst we're waiting for a new election. Having said that, yes, there would be a lot of dissent if he did become the Prime Minister again. But he was not despised. He just wasn't very popular. But he was never a politician. He was an army general. He sort of grew into the role, and he had quite a good relationship with Thai journalists and the Thai public. But generally, the idea of anyone linked to the army running the country after a democratic election wasn't ever going to really fly in sort of Thailand 2025. Let's spin the chocolate wheel and see who will be Prime Minister next week, says Malcolm Hawken. Damon Goodhope, how humiliating to sack your Prime Minister at the behest of a foreign power. Well, look, I mean, I'm sure plenty of Cambodians will be seeing it that way. And at the end of the day, she was found to have acted unethically. Yes, it was linked to that conversation she had with Hun Sen, but it wasn't really at the behest of a foreign power. The Constitutional Court is not made up of Cambodian judges. Eurovision Chris, having been in Cambodia now for 3 weeks and talking to people from near the border, it's crazy what they believe here. There is real animosity towards Thailand right now, so probably celebrations indeed. Yeah, look, the situation between Thai people and Cambodians is certainly much more toxic than it's ever been, and no matter what happens with Thai politics or Cambodian politics, at some stage there needs to be people sitting around in a circle smoking the peace pipe. We certainly are in a very difficult environment. The number one feeder for tourism in Cambodia was Thailand, and those Thai people are not crossing the border. They're not spending money in their casinos. They're not visiting the land borders being closed. So many foreigners are not going across the land borders. Some of them, of course, are still flying into Cambodia, but there is a very toxic relationship between Thais and Cambodians at the moment, and I think we all hope that there is some repairs done to that situation in the next couple of years. It will take a long time. Richard Horton said, "Here comes the elections." Well, yes, I mean, at some stage you would imagine if the Per Thai party can't get their prime ministerial candidate up, we're probably going to be seeing either a snap election or a dissolution of Parliament and a new election. Now, if they have a new election, we pretty much know what's going to happen. The Progressive People's Party, the old Move Forward Party, which was the old Future Forward Party, they're going to win. But they need to win that 50% of the vote plus one to be able to rule without having to form a coalition with other parties. So that would be a daunting task indeed. And their current leader, Natapong, seems a very knowledgeable, smart, likeable gentleman. Doesn't seem to have that star power that Peter had. So it's going to be a tall order for them to be able to win that election with a 50% plus one vote. But Richard, you're probably right. Maybe before the end of the year we may have a call for a new election. Given that the current parliament has another 2 years to run, that would be seen as an early election. Eric Nut, g'day Tim. Luckily the wheel in Thailand will always keep turning because they've got a solid bureaucracy in place. The Thai bureaucracy is, I would say, one of the most either efficient or inefficient in the world, but they certainly are very difficult to get out of their jobs, and it's a very strong bureaucracy. And it's not necessarily moved easily through a change of government. So I think you're right. Good point. It's a very sticky bureaucracy. Do we know how many of the 9 judges voted guilty, or was it all 9? Was it 9 judges? I saw a photo. There was only 8 of them there. Maybe one was having a day off. I don't know. No, I don't know what the final decision was. If it wasn't unanimous, I'd sort of be surprised. Let's see if I can find out some new information for you as some of these things are updated. The 5 remaining prime ministerial candidates to succeed the former Prime Minister Paetongtarn Shinawatra, I'm reading from Khalsa English, include the former junta leader, General Prayut Chan-o-cha, who's currently a Privy Council member, the opposition Phumjai Thai leader Anaton Charvitakul. I have to say, in my opinion, it would be those 2 that have the most logical path to becoming a Prime Minister, and that's after, of course, the Per Thai nominee, who automatically gets the first kick at the goal. The Per Thai Party last remaining candidate, Chai Kasem Nitsari, a former Attorney General, he's an elder statesman, and he's also been quite sick recently, but he has said he's up for the job, and he certainly has the potential to be quite a stable Prime Minister, more so than the very inexperienced Paetongtarn Shinawatra. So we'll just have to see, but that was from Khalsa English. Let's keep on going with your comments, and thank you very much, everybody, for joining in. Just scrolling here. Adrian here, thanks for the informative video. Train Freak Cow 12. I prefer Adrian. Is it going to affect retiring people coming to Thailand? No. None of what's happening today is going to affect anything that's happening in Thailand. If you're coming to Thailand for holiday, there's no reason to change that decision. If there was a coup, I may advise differently, even though when there was the last couple of coups, the tourists pretty much didn't even know, unless you were at maybe 1 or 2 intersections in Thailand where there were protests at the time, you wouldn't even know there was any instability. So tourism is not being affected, investment's not being affected. Keep on coming to Thailand if that is what you were going to do. At the moment, we don't have any reason to think there's going to be instability. Okay, what else have we got here? Just scrolling down gently before it jumps. Hun Sen said on the 26th of June, I also hope that there will be a change in Prime Minister in Bangkok. I think that in my view it will be around 3 months before a new Prime Minister is appointed, says Meow Meow. I don't think we can really count on Hun Sen saying anything positive or useful about Thailand at the moment. This may be something we can discuss tomorrow or in some future video, exactly why Hun Sen pulled this particular trigger, making this conversation public. Yeah, why? Why, oh, why did he do it? What is he trying to protect? Another discussion for another day. Greetings from Hua Hin, says Bijan Bain. Meow meow. He spoke on Tuesday. I've done that one. What a coincidence. Good riddance. Shinawatra gone, says Cobco. David Stevenson, 2:15 a.m. in San Francisco, but thank you for the update. G'day, Tim. Great meeting, mate. It's still kind of status quo, where the power's still in the hands of the military and His Majesty the King, don't you think? Look, I think you can be very cynical about Thai politics, looking at the past, saying there's been so many coups in the past, but I really think there is a mood in Thailand, even at the moment, with the Thai military riding high in the popularity stakes. I mean, if they had a poll today, who would you like to see running the country, and they actually put the military there as one of the poll choices, they might even win the poll. Wherever you drive around Thailand at the moment, there's plenty of Thai flags to be seen, but a lot of younger Thais are now of voting age, university educated, much more tech savvy, much more internet savvy, much more up to date with attitudes around the world about politics and political parties. They would certainly be not in favour of another coup. But if there was a 1% chance a couple of months ago, maybe there's a 1.5% chance now. I still think it's very unlikely. The Thai military have their role, and His Majesty has his role. The monarch has a constitutional role in Thailand. But I can't really comment much more than that. I think that's a fair question. But literally at the moment, the constitution, which was set down in 2017, will determine the outcome of this situation. And I think we should all applaud that. Peter says he'll be best Prime Minister in 9 years. Thai Vista News. Interested to hear his comments about today's decision. Steve Banfield, there's going to be a little horse trading going on. Hello, cannabis again. Well, look, as I say, Pumjai Thai were really in the minority. 69 votes out of 500. All the other parties and the parliamentarians all said before the election in their various manifestos that they were going to either relist cannabis as a narcotic, or they were going to get rid of recreational cannabis, which is sort of the situation that we have now. So I'm not sure even if Anaton was to become Prime Minister now or in the future, whether that would be on the cards. I think the Thai Parliament have made it quite clear about this situation, about that little experiment. Michael's back. Sorry to ask again, Tim, but is it possible she could now face criminal charges, proceedings now that she's been found guilty? She's been found guilty of parliamentary ethics. I don't believe it's certainly not a criminal offence. I think being removed as Prime Minister is her punishment. I think that would be the end of the matter. So we'll just have to see. But the judges didn't mention anything about sentencing or any further discussions on the matter in the future. So Ms Shinawatra is scheduled to give a press conference speech shortly, according to the BBC. Will be very interesting to hear what she has to say. Can she appeal this? I don't think she can. I think the Constitutional Court's findings are final, but we'll be interested to hear what she says, and we'll certainly discuss that on tomorrow's live program. Prode can't run because he's a member of the King's Privy Council, says Steve Banfield. Well, he could resign from the Privy Council. I suppose he'd want to make sure his job as a possible prime ministerial candidate was secure before he resigned. But yes, if he resigned from the Privy Council, he would be eligible to be a Prime Minister in Thailand again. Surprise, surprise, BJT, Bumjai Thai, Senators and Hun Sen have a good day, says Peter O'Neill. Well, yeah, they've had a good day if sort of destabilising the Thai government is having a good day. Wolf Chen, Thai politics is such a shit show. Time for the orange cobras. Okay, so cobras are members of Thai parliament who change party. Now, this is a really Thai dynamic. Usually you are a member of a political party, you get elected as an MP, and you serve your role in the parliament as a member of that party. But there are things called cobras who change their political affiliation whilst remaining an MP. So if you could imagine in UK politics, for example, you could be elected as a member of the Conservatives, as an MP, and then while you're there, you could be lured onto the opposition benches. Not that that would happen, but that's sort of what happens. Now, the orange cobras are the People's Party. So, if the Per Thai Party were able to lure some additional members from the People's Party to change their affiliation and join the Per Thai Party, the coalition, embolden the coalition, that could certainly happen. There would be a lot of cheques having to be written. And so far, to their credit, the People's Party MPs, not one of them has crossed the floor to join another party. So the Pete Journal says, time for the orange cobras. I don't think it's going to happen, but we'll watch. Can you buy a vote in Australia? Asks Truck. You can sort of buy a vote anywhere. There's all sorts of ways and means. There's pork barrelling. There's introducing a whole lot of funding into various constituencies in an election. Gerrymandering, of course, is used as a weapon in a lot of politics these days. I don't know. Eric Nutt. Good day, Tim. Could it be the plan of the Conservatives, the Army and the King, keep the Army and the King out of it, please, to put in place a compliant Prime Minister in order to deal with the Cambodian situation? Look, keep the two matters apart. The problem is that the MPs are already elected and they remain the elected Parliament until they're dismissed. And the numbers of Conservatives in the current Parliament are few. Look, I'm just doing a quick count on the top. It's maybe, if you're counting Pumjai Thai as sort of pseudo-Conservatives, then you're probably talking about 100 members out of the 500-member Parliament. So the Conservatives couldn't pull together a coalition unless other people just sort of changed their stripes or changed their whole political thinking. So even if they put a Conservative Prime Minister as the leader of the Parliament, would be quite an interesting situation. You'd have a sort of a hung Parliament. It would be very hard to get anything discussed and decided through Parliament if you had a Conservative Prime Minister with some Conservative members in the Cabinet, but a progressive or central government as the rump of the parliamentary members. I don't think it could work. But thank you very much for the suggestion. It's a fair and reasonable question. The vote in the court was apparently 6-3. Going by the BBC, seems to be 9 judges. The photo must have cropped the 9th out. So it wasn't a unanimous decision. Agreed on need to rebuild trust between Thais and Khmers. Look, whether it's a unanimous decision or not doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, the majority said she needed to be removed from the position of Parliament, position of Prime Minister. Thai politics is seamless and above board compared to the US, says KC. Well, it's different. 9 judges indeed. The vote was 6-3, says Eurovision Chris. He said it now twice. Paetongtarn and Cabinet addressing the media live now on Amarin. Thank you very much. Look, I think we've been going along long enough. I'll just do another 4 or 5 messages. I'll just scroll down to see if there's any latest news. Tim, it was a 6-3 vote to convict. Thank you very much. Who's Captain Planet now? Old mate from the border war time still. Who's Captain Planet now? The current Prime Minister of Thailand is the acting Prime Minister, if that's what you mean. Hello, I'm Thai, says KK. By you, Tom on the loose again. She has more time for you now. What happened? Did my future ex-wife get sacked, says Kel. John Hayter, spelled Hayter. It's all very existing, but history, exciting maybe you mean, tells us it will ultimately be meet the new boss, same as the old boss, and not much will change. Well, unless the replacement is a Liz Truss character. Ha ha ha. If you think about Thai politics now, or Thailand now, compared to, say, 20 years ago, it's a much more progressive, dynamic country than it was. They've got same-sex marriage. They've got the current act in Parliament waiting to be voted on, which would address the rights of sex workers. I mean, these are all quite progressive items. The situation for people like ladyboys and trans people in Thailand is very progressive, so much so that people really don't bother talking about it. It's just not an issue. I mean, Thailand is a fairly modern thinking, yet conservative in other ways, society. And I think it is sort of moving in a progressive direction, despite the occasional instabilities in the government. So there's definitely been a move of Thailand through various parliaments to make the country more modern and progressive. I don't see that changing no matter who is pulling at the levers. Ben says political parties, same but different. The Patriot, I have to slightly disagree with your analysis that this decision won't impact the Thai-Cambodian border situation. The military may have primary control, but this outcome is likely to improve things. I don't know what you mean by the word improve. I think they've been maintaining control all the way through this current situation. I don't think anything that's happened today will change what's happening on the Thai border. I think the Thai military are basically completely in control. But at the end of the day, if the Thai parliament says, Thai army do this or that, the army is under the control of the Thai parliament, in theory. Tim, no, both Phumjai Thai senators and Hun Sen do not have Thailand's best interests at heart, says Peter O'Neill. Well, certainly Hun Sen. As far as Phumjai Thai senators, well, you're sort of making a political comment there, which you're well entitled to do. I think Phumjai Thai have got some different ideas about the way they'd like to see Thailand run, and certainly Anaton Charnvirakul has made it quite clear over with his actions over the last 3 or 4 years that he does want to be Prime Minister one day, but he's still got quite a long way between where he is now and actually being able to be elected as Prime Minister. But thanks for your comments. Eurovision Chris, back again. Sorry, Tim, I'm responding as you speak, and so sometimes my comments can seem out of context or repetitive, yes, and tend to respond to questions you pose at the moment. Paul says KK, and they still have the old silk shop in Chiang Mai. Anaton will be the next Prime Minister, says Tom Grease. I will bet you he won't be. There you go. What's the bet? Make some bet with me, Tom. Don't just say it. Let's shake hands. What? 500 baht? 1,000 baht? You tell me what the bet is, and we'll make it with you. Yeah, it's a weird mix of conservative and progressive. Like Laos is a weird mix of communism and capitalism, says Kel. RGRBT. I don't think same-sex marriage is a problem that affects the majority of Thailand and the people. Lots of other problems that could have been addressed first. Well, it's been around. Not even going to get into debating that. Former army generals are out of politics on the whole planet, says Alpha Bravo. Chatnarong. I am Thai. Thailand personally does not like trans, but we are not aggressive to abuse them. We kind of leave them alone and not talking about it. Well, okay, well, maybe that's the way. Okay, not a discussion for today, but I do appreciate you getting involved and passing on your feelings about the way Thai people see transsexuals. Antoine, are there forbidden topics for a caretaker cabinet? Look, a caretaker cabinet would be just keeping things on the low down. There wouldn't be any new legislation introduced to Parliament. I think it would be business as usual. Although the caretaker cabinet, I think, I don't know what the rules are. Maybe the Constitution says that they can't introduce any new acts to Parliament for debate. It's sort of business as usual. A caretaker Parliament means they are caretaker. They're just keeping the wheels in motion. Okay, thanks Tim for keeping us all up to date with everything going on, says Eurovision Chris. Thanks everybody. Hopefully that has been of interest. We sort of got onto the live stream about 12 minutes before the decision was made. But I think a lot of people have thrown their ideas in. Plenty of questions. I've answered them as best I can. All I can do is be honest. I really don't have any political point to make. I don't vote in Thailand, but I am a business person here. I pay taxes. I employ Thai people. I'm very interested as to what happens with the Thai Parliament, and I hope they get things sorted out and Thailand can just keep on keeping on as it has in the past and keep on attracting visitors and keep on making life better for the Thai people. How a country treats the elderly and infirmed, enough said. She's been removed from power. The last message I have is that she's been removed from power. Mung Saka, we've been talking about that for the last hour. Thanks for dropping in. I'll probably do a live program tomorrow mopping up this whole situation. But thank you to all the people that dropped in this live chat. Hopefully it's been of interest and we look forward to seeing what happens in the next few weeks. But to be assured that the acting Prime Minister and the caretaker cabinet and the Parliament are there and things will keep on happening in Thailand. MPs' salaries will be paid, you can be assured. The bureaucrats will still be paid and they'll still be issuing fines. They'll be still stamping forms and they'll still be issuing number plates. So life does go on in Thailand. It's 10 minutes to 5. Thanks for watching and I'm going to go and have a long glass of water. Thanks for watching.